Well, good afternoon and welcome to the first public meeting for the SR 520 I-5 Express Lanes Connection Project. I want to say hello and welcome. My name is Amanda Christopher. Thank you for joining us today. I'm the communications lead for the SR 520 I-5 Express Lanes Connection Project, and I'll be your host today. This is a Zoom webinar format, and so we've muted all attendees, and presenters will be on camera when it's their turn to speak. We can go to the next slide. As a reminder, this presentation will be recorded and all materials will be available online after today's meeting. Throughout the meeting, feel free to drop any questions or comments in the private chat throughout the presentation, and we will answer. And if you include your email, we'd be happy to follow up with you after the meeting to answer any questions or address any comments you might have. So on today's agenda, we have a project overview from our construction engineer, Shane Oden, a video presentation, a breakdown of the project timeline, what to expect during construction, ways to stay in touch, and then we'll end the meeting at that point. So we can go to the next slide. So to get started, I want to give a brief overview of the State Route 520 program. So the SR 520 program includes elements from I-5 to Lake Washington, and we call this the rest of the West. The projects provide safety and mobility improvements to reconnect local communities divided by the original construction of 520 in the 1960s. The map that you're looking at shows the remaining elements of the rest of the West, which will be built in phases. The phase we are beginning this August is the I-5 Express Lanes connection. And that's in the bottom left in the light blue. So now I'll pass it off to Shane to give more information about the project.
Hi, good afternoon. Can everybody hear me okay? Deal. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for your attendance. My name is Shane Oden, and I'm the construction office manager for the SR 520 I-5 Express Lanes Connection Project. I'm just going to be giving you, actually, can we go to the next slide, I think? There we go. I'm going to be giving you a couple minute brief overview, a little bit on the project and what surrounds it. So much of what WSDOT does, pursues, and achieves is guided through our strategic plan. It provides us a vision, a mission, values. WSDOT's vision is for Washingtonian travelers to have safe, sustainable, and integrated multimodal transportation systems. And our mission is to provide safe, reliable, and cost-effective transportation options to improve communities and economic vitality for people and businesses. So the SR 520 I-5 Express Lanes Connection Project looks to meet these needs for the community. Seattle is experiencing, as many of you know, a population and employment boom. The Eastside tech-driven cities, they continue to experience rapid growth. To help manage growth, community members and community leaders identified the need for a safe, reliable transit and HOV link between downtown Seattle and the Eastside via SR 520. The purpose of the project is to extend SR 520's new transit and HOV system onto the I-5 express lanes, creating a direct bus and carpool connection between SR 520, South Lake Union, and downtown Seattle. In particular, this includes a new reversible transit HOV ramp between SR 520 and the I-5 express lanes, restriped I-5 express lanes that retain the 4 existing lanes, but also adding an additional reversible transit HOV lane between I-5 and SR 520 interchange and Mercer Street, and third, a modified reversible ramp between I-5 express lanes and Mercer Street. The completed project intends to provide highway improvements that ultimately will result in a safer highway for motorists and transit riders, and also improve regional mobility through a combination of dedicated HOV lanes and connecting with adjoining segments of SR 520 corridor in both directions and connection to Western Terminus at I-5. Another pillar of WSDOT's strategic plan is inclusion. So through inclusion, we're strengthening our commitment to diversity and inclusive engagement in all WSDOT business practices and services. Overall, we strive to ensure that all voices can be represented and heard as we collaboratively deliver all of our projects. One way we do this is through voluntary goals to enlist underrepresented businesses in our projects. And on this one in particular, we're striving to secure a 10% of our contract's value with minority-owned firms. There's another 6% for women-owned firms, 5% with veteran-owned firms, and 5% with disadvantaged small businesses. We realize that diverse backgrounds bring varied perspectives and skills to projects, which overall strengthens our team and improves the overall outcome of the project. And I think to better illustrate maybe some of what I just went over right there, may have been a lot, but we have a video that we would like to share with you.
A quicker, more reliable bus and carpool connection between the Eastside and Seattle's booming South Lake Union employment hub is on the horizon. The State Department of Transportation is building a dedicated transit and HOV lane between State Route 520 and I-5's Mercer Street interchange. When the project wraps up in 2023, buses will have their own lane, free of general purpose traffic, along the reversible I-5 express lanes. By avoiding I-5's congested commuter lanes, transit riders will enjoy faster, more reliable trips between the Eastside, South Lake Union, and downtown Seattle. Specifically, this project includes a new reversible transit HOV ramp between SR 520 and the I-5 express lanes, a dedicated bus and carpool lane alongside I-5's 4 reversible express lanes, and a modified reversible ramp between the I-5 express lanes and Mercer Street. Initially, only buses will use the new connection. Later, after a new Portage Bay Bridge and Roanoke Freeway lit are built, the reversible lane will open to carpool users. And just like the I-5 express lanes, the new reversible bus and carpool lane will operate southbound in the mornings and northbound in the afternoons. The project is part of the broader ongoing reconstruction of SR 520, an effort that is replacing aging bridges and adding traffic capacity between I-405 and I-5. Once this work is complete, SR 520's bus and carpool system will extend from Redmond to Seattle. Stay updated through Twitter, email updates, and the Construction Corner map on our website.
Okay, so I think that video will also be posted online. If it was a little maybe glitchy during the presentation, we're happy to likely share that as well. So a lot of people are probably wondering project timeline. So let's cover that real quick. Well, the project's already underway and we're ramping up. It was awarded to Walsh Construction LLC, who's joining us today. It was awarded back in June, and the contract includes 575 working days, which means it should be wrapping up in the fall of 2023. Most of the project will be completed at nighttime to avoid impacts to the traveling public peak hours, also for safety measures. And the project will also be completed in stages to help manage the impacts to the community. Walsh will be providing you with a preview of what will be taking place through the end of the year. And then, of course, as time goes on, we have a communication and outreach program where we're going to be keeping the community and our project partners up to date on schedules, traffic impacts, and we'll get into some mitigation measures a little later in the presentation. All right, let's bring on Walsh. John, are you joining us?
Hi, Shane. Hi, everyone. My name is John Currier. I'm the construction manager on the project with Walsh Construction. I'm going to give a quick overview of what everyone can expect over the coming months and into the winter as we get the project started. Construction will begin in late August, and leading up to actual construction activities, we will have some survey work that will be going at night under lane shifts on both the express lanes and on I-5 to identify some existing conditions and begin with our preliminary work. We will also be setting up our staging area, which is just off of East Lake Avenue on the south side of the Ship Canal under the bridge. And as we roll into the end of August and into September, we will be starting with tree and vegetation removal on I-5, as well as the north side of 520 near the Roanoke ramp. And we will begin with some early ITS relocation work, as well as some demolition work. So the preliminary stages of work in August and September will be, like Shane said, mainly done at night and mainly done under lane shifts. And as we shift into our major demolition and structural work in October, November, and into December, you can expect to see some ramp closures and lane closures along 520 and I-5. So the beginning of the work in August and September, like I said, will be mainly at night and done under minor lane shifts. And then as work really starts to ramp up later into the fall and winter, you can expect to see some ramp and lane closures on I-5 and 520. Shane, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, John. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about construction effects and mitigation. Another pillar of WSDOT's strategic plan is what we call practical solutions. And a part of practical solutions is incorporating community outreach and engagement. It's done during the design phase. It's also done very heavily during the construction phase. So, WSDOT's not new to this. We understand the impacts constructions have on highways, have on communities. That's why, we seek to do work at night, minimal impacts to lane closure. We want to keep business, commerce open. We want safety. That's a real top priority for us. So we're committed to being good neighbors and doing our best to mitigate disruption to the community and the traveling public. And to do that, we've incorporated several measures into our project, honestly, to better serve you. One of those is a community construction management plan. And the plan essentially outlines the process through which members of the public have an ongoing opportunity to provide input into construction management decisions that can help to mitigate the effects of construction activities on historic and other properties. We also have noise, vibration, air quality, and dust control plans. We have visual quality management that looks at aesthetics, glare, lighting, traffic, transportation, utilities, vegetation management, and erosion control, staging, and WSDOT right-of-way. All of these are incorporated into the contract. They're dynamic plans. They're visited regularly and updated with feedback from the community. So we also have a major project public construction noise variance with the city of Seattle, and we're going to be collaborating with them very closely on this. That goes into effect from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. on Monday through Fridays, or between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. on Saturday through Sundays, also on holidays. We're establishing noise monitoring instrumentation set up throughout the project limits to continuously monitor noise levels. And we also have a dedicated independent noise monitor to make sure that we're not getting any exceedances or meet the requirements of the permit. And they're also there to address, any concerns from the public. We also have vibration and geotechnical monitoring associated with some of the earthwork and retaining wall activities that we're going to be performing down at Mercer, along I-5 express lanes, and also up at the 520 interchange. One thing that's nice about this contract is we also have a contractor incentive program, and the program's intended to align with WSDOT and Walsh's and other stakeholders' interests in achieving what we call superior performance on the overall project. And these practices are intended for the betterment and benefit of the community members impacted by the project. If you haven't met him yet, we also have a SR 520 community liaison and ombudsman, and his name is David Goldberg. David, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, it's David Goldberg. I'm the community liaison and ombudsman for this program of Reconstructing 520. And my mission is to help identify possible disruptions to folks and to work with the construction managers to make plans that will avoid the impacts and disruptions to the degree possible. But when we don't hit all those notes the right way, I'm also here to receive your information about how you're being impacted and do what I can to make changes that will correct the situation. So, and I'm always available. I do my best to respond just as quickly as possible to everything that comes in. And I hope that we manage this project well enough that you won't have to interact with me too much, but I love meeting people and talking with folks in the community. And I look forward to working with those of you I haven't worked with to this point. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you, David. Amanda, I guess we'll turn it back to you for communications, community, and outreach.
Thank you. There are many ways to get a hold of us and to stay in touch throughout construction. One of those ways is email. So you can email us at sr520bridge@washdot.wa.gov. We respond to these emails normally within 2 weeks of receiving them. And then there's also a dedicated 24-hour construction hotline for this project. And that number is there on the screen, the 206-316-2559. If you're familiar with our work in the area, there is a hotline phone for the Montlake project, and that number is different. So this number is dedicated for the I-5 interchange, I-5 express lanes connection project, sorry. And and we will be staffing that hotline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can also visit the 520 Construction Corner, which will have up-to-date information on closures and impacts to both the traveling public and if there are any bicyclist or pedestrian detours, anything like that can be found for both the Montlake project and the I-5 project on our Construction Corner. Also, you can visit us on our 520 program website. You can follow us on Twitter. We keep all of these very up to date. And then finally, as you just met, David Goldberg is our community liaison, and he's a great resource for you as well. So we really encourage you to check out these options, stay in touch with us, send us your questions or comments. And let's see what else. I think we're wrapping up here. So again, feel free to drop any questions or comments that you may have in the Q&A box, and we will follow up with you after today's meeting. And again, a copy of this presentation will be posted online, including the slides and a recording of the meeting. And that's all we have. We really appreciate everyone taking the time to be here, and we look forward to getting the I-5 Express Lanes Connection project underway. Thank you and have a great day.